sounds fun. That's a stiff one right there. Oh, we're starting with the clubs on this one. Almost a standard look. Same with the art. A little bit of sparkle in the cards. Interesting face card there. Was that the only one? And some star pizza jokers. Alright, that's what we got for this one. Anyway, I hope your day's been well and you're ready to relax, play some solitaire. We got a stiff, thick card deck to play with tonight. And as we kick this off, let everyone know your favorite pizza. Now it could be frozen pizza, delivered pizza, restaurant pizza. Let it be known. And for myself, I'll give my answers. You know how I do this. Alright. Get yourself nice and comfy. And let's begin our first game of the night. And the 3 of clubs is out. So pizza. I think we're gonna have some stories here tonight, but let's start off simple. Favorite pizza. Now when it comes to food, it's hard to really have a favorite. For myself, it's like what type of criteria has to be met to be a favorite. Because my most enjoyable pizza doesn't necessarily have to be my favorite pizza, you know? So, around where I live in California, there's this pizzeria called Me and Ed's. And what they do is they have a cracker crust, whole wheat, I believe, pizza on the shell or dough, and it's really good to me. It has a high amount of fiber and protein, and it has probably that much of a cracker, about 5 cards thick of a cracker crust. With a little bit of dough between the... Ooh, let's go this one instead. We got a lot of 2s. The cheese. The sauce and the cheese. And they don't go too heavy on the cheese. And I like myself a Hawaiian from there. Good old Canadian bacon. Pineapple with a side of jalapenos and ranch. That's the good stuff. I haven't had it in a while since it became more expensive, but that would be my favorite pizza for not feeling gross afterwards. Ooh, there we go. Will that set up our place to come? Or leave us looking for another one? And it might be done. Let's do a thorough check. There aren't many too good pizza places in my opinion, because I'm not too much of a fan of cheese. More often than not, yeah, Jack King, 7, 8, 3, and was really hungry after practicing. I ordered myself just a classic pepperoni. Large. I planned to eat 2-3 slices maybe, and put the rest in a box for home. But it was so good. I had that whole thing. I think all 8 slices. No issue. And what they did is that it's not a thick, doughy crust, but more of, I guess, a New York style, almost, with Italian seasoning within the cheese and the pasta sauce, or pizza sauce. Crisp pepperonis, not where they make a grease ball or pool inside of them. And on the crust, it was crunchy and doughy. Not doughy, but, you know, it had some softness to it at the same time. It was covered in garlic, so at the end it was almost like eating a garlic stick as your crust. And that was just probably a mixture of hunger. But it was one of the best pizzas I've had. So, those two are pretty high on the list. Obviously there are more, but that could be for another time and type of video. Maybe. And now we'll get into frozen after a couple go-throughs. This is our third play. Can you hear the extra thickness in the cards? It's kind of hard not to, at least for me right now. I think I just heard a frog outside. That's weird for this time of year. Yeah, I think we might be done on this one. But we have that 3, which can change things as we earn our first and second fat stack of the night. First being to our left, second being towards the middle. And we got ourselves a game. it's Totino's. And I was never really a fan of oven pizza because it just didn't have a good consistency throughout. Like there'd be like a soft spot and then burnt parts. Maybe that's just the oven, but not really my thing. Until I came across this pizza that was on sale, I think, about 2 months ago. It's called Freschetta. They were about $5 a pizza. Where I'm at, that's a very good price. Unfortunately. And I got a Canadian bacon, a supreme, and a pepperoni to try out after I had my first one, of course. The Hawaiian. And it came with, well, you know what it comes with, but it's a green box. It says Freschetta. Try it out if you like Hawaiians. I typically don't like a doughy pizza, but this one, the way it cooks in the oven, really complements the sauce and toppings well. On each of the flavors I tried out, the supreme, pepperoni, and Hawaiian are all worth a shot if you like thicker pizzas and don't like too much grease on the pizza. So those are really good in my opinion. And honestly, I don't hate Hot Pockets. They're pretty good when you think about it. A while ago they used to have lean pockets, which I'm pretty sure they got rid of. Where it would have like less cheese in it, less fat, more protein and fiber in the crust. And they would season the crust better for whatever reason. Those were pretty good. Ooh, let's get this one. Oh my gosh. That wasn't great. Oh my god, I just remembered. As a kid, pretty much every couple days, we would have to eat Costco pizza because it was affordable. The take and bakes. And what we would get would be the meat lovers. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm glad to have had as much stuff available to me. But when you have a Costco take and bake meat lovers a couple times a week, it's a bit overwhelming. I don't think they do that anymore, or they haven't for a while. So basically, it would be a pizza about that big too. Let me know if you've ever had one of those Costco pizzas and share your thoughts. Because if you had one slice, you were pretty much set, but it was so greasy, crunchy, and confusing. So a little break. Time to rate this deck. Cards are pretty simple. Generic in a sense, but not bad. What they lack in, like, I don't want to say creativity. What they lack in design, they make up for in durability. These cards are great. They're gonna last a long time. They have no bend whatsoever. They have a very good texture. So great texture, great durability. Okay design, back design. It's alright, not too bad. It's definitely different. But just by the fact that you could play with this deck of cards a lot, I'm gonna give it a surprising 8.5. If you have a solid deck that could just last you well, it goes a long way. Especially if you play lots of games with friends or solitaire. Those feel like oxymoron phrases. Or that felt like an oxymoron. But oh well. Alright. Pizza after a sports game. So it's pretty common after a soccer game or a baseball game, especially if it was on a weekend or Friday, that pizza would be purchased. And almost without fail, it would be Little Caesars. And for what it is, Little Caesars isn't too bad once you have your expectations set. I remember that, like, we'd eat pizza a lot because it was pretty cheap at the time, and it was good for leftovers. So typically we'd get 2 Little Caesars and then save the rest for later. And during, like, junior high school era, I got bored and thought, what would be something that would be fun to do and that's unique in a sense? So one time, not Little Caesars, my brother and I would watch The Simpsons. And I remember this one episode where Homer put an entire slice of pizza in his mouth and ate it at once, like a cannoli. He got the triangular slice, rolled it up to where it was like a crescent roll, and ate that in one go. So I told my brother, hey, look at this. I did that. And I was chewing that slice of pizza for about 2 minutes. And I regretted it almost instantly. And it was a large slice of pizza too. It was probably about that big in dimension. But anyway, back to Little Caesars. When we would have that a lot. This one time I wanted to try something out again with pizza. And I always like to put crushed red chili And then I ate that. And I think I was more proud of it then, enjoying the taste, because it just tastes the same. But the fact that you invented something just makes it taste better in a sense. So that's what I did. And I would have that for breakfast quite a bit. Gosh. Lots of pizza for breakfast, I remember. But that's a whole nother story. In a sense. Ooh. Best pizza topping. That's a good one. Singular topping. It's a toss-up between sausage and pepperoni. Boring as they are. As we get our third fat stack, I believe. There's a reason why they're popular. If you get a good sausage that has a lot of flavor and dynamics in it, that's way better than a pepperoni. But if you get a good pepperoni that has a lot of seasonings, again, a good flavor profile, that's going to be better than any piece of good bacon, ham, or like linguiça type of stuff. 4 fat stacks, by the way, on the night. So I think it's tough to beat a classic there. As we're coming down to the end of this one, and it's getting close. Did we finally get ourselves a win? I think we might have. And there we go. We have officially won our first game of the night. 4 fat stacks in, with 1 more game to go. I'm just realizing there's a lot of stuff I could talk about food. Kind of in a guilty way, but then realizing it wasn't my choice really in a sense. So it's just looking back and kind of laughing at it in a funny way. Because you know how they used to have those videos of like, if you were to die, what your stats would be. Like, oh, video game hour played, like 4 days or probably 4 weeks worth. All the spades, ace to king. If I had stats like that, there'd be slices of pizza consumed, clubs, ace to king. It would probably be like 5,000 at least hearts, and probably 4,900 of those and diamonds came from when I was younger than 16. Ooh, that's a good shuffle so far. That's a lot of pairs. And then it gets a little bit ugly, but that's okay. Final game of the night coming up. Honestly, I could talk about food for a long time, but we'll just leave it there with one final question. What is your favorite pizza to make? first thing that comes to mind is probably 3 to 4 years ago. We saw this idea of a protein pizza. And this was during a time where I was having lots of fat-free cheese, fat-free mozzarella, mild cheddar, and the such. Turkey pepperoni. Mainly for like quesadillas. Like high protein and fiber quesadillas. But then the idea of how can we make a pizza that is filling, tasty, and high in protein. So we got, instead of pizza dough, we got ground chicken and molded that into a dough, cooked it. And after that, we threw the toppings on. And it was just a mess. That was when I realized, you know what? If you're gonna have a slice of pizza, just go for an actual slice of pizza. Don't get fat-free cheese, which at the time was pretty much plastic. Don't go chicken crust with turkey pepperonis. Just go to a damn pizza parlor and call something in and enjoy it. I remember eating it with such a damn, this is one of my biggest cooking failures. And it just makes you realize some things aren't worth compromising. As we have ourselves a strong start to our last game of the night. Red King. Come on. That works. That also works. Red 8, Red King. That works as well, since we have another spot for a king. Fat stack number 5. And I've said this before, but Domino's isn't too bad. I haven't had their pizza for a long time, but the first time I tried it about a year ago, the crust was pretty good, the flavor was good, it didn't make you feel too gross, and it was a solid choice. We have to go with this 8, despite the chance at a fat stack. It's really tough to screw up a good pizza, but there are those out there who try. Unfortunately, myself in that case. We're at the end. Let's see where we're at. 9, 5, 2, and a 10. Nowhere to go. We place that 2. Nowhere to go. We go back. Put down that 2. And nowhere for that queen. Nowhere for that 10. That's it. We end the night strong with 5 fat stacks and a win. My friend, it was fun. Let's see the final 10 left unturned that decided our night. Nothing too bad. Well, that space pizza deck with quite a bit of pizza in between. I hope you enjoyed. I'm headed to bed. Please have yourself a relaxing remainder of your day and night.